Dandavats, guys. I'm just going to read an excerpt from an article published by Sri Gaudiya Darsan, an article written by Srila Guru Maharaj about Sripad Jajavar Goswami Maharaj. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I actually had the good fortune of having Jajavar Maharaj's Darsan on a couple of occasions in Navadip in Koladongamat. This is translated by Sripad Bhakti Prapanna Tirtha Maharaj. It's entitled The Embodiment of Tranquility. Amongst the renunciants who received Srila Saraswati Thakur's mercy directly, Sripad Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Maharaj was the last sannyasi. Although discussion of a renunciant's previous history is generally forbidden, in special cases discussing their holy life benefits the world. Such discussion is always appropriate for this noble purpose. We also desire to purify ourselves by briefly discussing the most holy life of Sripad Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Maharaj. We have faith that the readers of Sri Gaudiya Darsan will also be greatly benefited by this. This was published on the 10th of May 1956. Almost 48 years ago, Gaudiya Acharya Srimad Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Maharaj appeared on the second tithi of the waxing fortnight in the month of Vaishak, the day before Akshaya Tritiya. In the pious home of the virtuous Brahmin Sri Yukta Padmalochan Sharma Mahodai in the town of Durmut within Kati Mahakumar in the district of Medinipur. His name given by his father was Sri Sarveshwar Sharma. His father, Sri Padmalochan Sharma, was indifferent to worldly matters and enthusiastic about discussion of scriptures. He would often strongly encourage his son and other family members to engage in meditation on higher truths and thought of the self. Personally, he engaged in the Lord's service at almost every moment. Sri Sarveshwar's mother was naturally simple, pious and dedicated to pure devotion. She later, following her sadhu son, accepted initiation into the line of Srila Saraswati Thakur. From childhood, Sarveshwar was simple, enthusiastic and hard-working, yet he was also detached from worldly matters. He was strongly attracted to the life of a renunciant. Although everyone in his home looked at him with eyes of affection, as he grew and matured, he gradually became anxious to associate with sadhus, and during his early youth, when he was about 16 years old, he left his family, unbeknownst to anyone, and travelled to Sri Purushottam Ketra with the hope of associating with sadhus. Fortunately, at that time, with the help of some Sri Gaudiya Math's preachers, he attained the association and shelter of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj's holy lotus feet. From then on, he became known as Sri Sarveshwar Brahmachari and sincerely served Sri Guru Pada Padma in various ways for 12 years. Thereafter, when an institute for higher learning was established at the birthplace of Sri Gauda in Sri Dham Mayapur, he spent his time there in the holy Dham on Sri Guru Pada Padma's order, studying the scriptures, worshipping the deity, reciting Srimad Bhagavatam and performing kirtan with devotees. Later he succeeded greatly in managing many of the newly established maths of the Sri Gaudiya Math in numerous places throughout Bengal and Uttar Pradesh. His ability to realize the scriptures, esoteric conclusions and present them to common people in very clear language was his most extraordinary capability. He had a very sweet voice and his chanting of the songs of the great souls was very sweet and heart-touching, and enlivening to the mood of the devotion of everyone who heard it. Many times Srila Guru Pada Padma was pleased to hear kirtan from his holy mouth. Just prior to the revelation of his unmanifest pastimes, Srila Prabhupada drew him from the Gaudiya Math to Sri Purushottam to hear his kirtan, and a few days later, being extremely pleased with him, mercifully gave him Tridandi Sannyas, which was very rare to attain. Thereafter he became known to the world as Srimad Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Maharaj, and devoted himself with great zeal to the service of preaching Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga's glory. Eventually, while preaching in various places after the disappearance of Sri Guru Pada Padma, he founded a grand establishment with help of his godbrothers known as Sri Shamananda Gaudiya Math. Later he established preaching centres in Kati, Chandrakona, Sri Mayapur and other places, and engaged himself with intense enthusiasm in widely preaching Sri Bhagavat Dharma. He became the subject of all of the sadhus' unreserved praise by publishing in book form the important chapter in Srimad Bhagavatam known as the Shruti's Prayers 10.87, ornamenting it with commentary, translation, exposition and so on, and making its complex conclusions really understandable. Sri Jajavar Maharaj, adorned with unlimited qualities befitting an acharya, is the embodiment of tranquility. Pure simplicity and good-heartedness are fully manifest in his serene form. His adherence to truth, courageousness in performing good works, fearlessness in dispelling evil, great enthusiasm for genuine preaching, even greater eagerness for pure devotion, heartfelt intimacy amongst friends, natural love for the Lord and his servants, and a host of other good qualities combined together, always attract the sadhu's heart. Although he is not so advanced in terms of age, very advanced, highly educated, virtuous and honourable gentlemen and ladies are becoming attracted by his exemplary life of devotional practice, taking shelter at his feet and attaining the fortune of devotion themselves. For the good of the world, we are praying at the holy feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga on the birthday of this great acharya and preacher of pure devotion for the long continuation of his auspicious life of preaching devotion. Tridandi Vikshu Sri Bhakti Rakak Sridhar. Yes, so just to finish, I'd like to say that Srila Guru Maharaj and himself are very, very close. They had a very special relationship. They just loved each other so much. It was incredible. They would hold hands when they were speaking together up on his veranda. They would stroke each other's beards or hair, and they would sit almost on top of each other. They just loved each other's company so much. And I was fortunate enough to see Sripad Jajavar Maharaj coming to see Guru Maharaj, and I needn't tell you the hoo-ha in the whole temple at the time was amazing. I mean, I'd be there brushing leaves up around near the temple or whatever, near the deities, and or wherever, anywhere, and all of a sudden a Bengali boy would run past straight up into the pujari, to Bhudev, and or whoever was there, and he would come out with a garland and start walking past me, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? Next one I'd hear the other boy running through the kitchen, get prasadam quick. I said, what's going on? And eventually, I looked up that pathway and see this old man walking in with a Bengali servant with him, and hunched over, frail little man, And then the closer he got, the more I could see he was a lion of a man, and incredible, total sadhu, like pure devotee there in front of you, and people falling on the ground everywhere, and big hoo-ha going on, and it was a grand occasion every time he visited. And he came over to me once and he asked me what was my name and where was I from, and walked off, and I think he may have put his hand on me somewhere. Somebody definitely gave me a little blessing like that, and he was lovely, and it was just great to see these great Vaisnavas, which are now part of history. Dandavats, hope you enjoy it. Thank you.